Stephanie, finally, you and I get a chance to speak, even though, of course, it's over Zoom. For folks who are watching this whole interview on Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, rudyblairmedia.com, I'm going to set the pace for this. I'm going through, like I always do, go through social media. I was on Instagram, and Stephanie's page pops up, and I see this young, incredible woman doing some stuff with weights that I'm thinking like, wait a minute, what is this little person? And I say that with respect, picking up more weight than most dudes that I see in the gym that I go to. And then I see posts that are going up on her transformation. And I'm thinking, wow. So we actually connected because Stephanie mentioned about how if she could, she would have married The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And I showed her a picture of myself and Dwayne when he first started in the WWE because that's when I interviewed him. We started talking, and that's how we became friends and, followed each other. And I said, I need to one day do an interview with you because you were such an inspiration. And I'm thinking as we are going into 2022, you are the perfect person to talk with about change and going after your goals. So congratulations on, and I can say this, your transformation.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's long time coming. Long
Yeah,
time coming.
it definitely is. Let me ask you right off the top. What inspired you to make this change? Because in this picture, how old were you and what was going on in your life at this point in time?
So I just had my third daughter in that picture, and I was about 25 years old in that picture. That's about almost right before I started. Um, I started the, I started for the last time. That was right before I started for the last time. So I'm going to be 37 next month. So it'll be almost 10 years that I have been on this crazy journey between weight loss and strength and finding myself and confidence. Like it's just been a whole turnover over the last 10 years. That person in that picture would laugh at the fact that this is what I am now.
Well,
So
you put a smile on all of our faces because something else that I forgot to mention too. Not only was she picking up incredibly heavy weight, but then she would drop it and start dancing.
I love
And
it.
yeah, and what makes me laugh is you would say, "Well, I don't care if I don't look good dancing, or I can't dance. You can dance. Let me just put it. You can dance. So let me just make that clear. And I know you've had dance contests with other people, and I do believe you've won every single one of them. So I just want to make that clear. But what actually made you decide you wanted to make those changes?
So I've always struggled with my weight. Started very young. I went through a ton of the diet fads as a teenager. I went through it to lose weight when I got married really young. I tried doing it a bunch of times, but nothing was successful. And I always said that I would lose the weight after my last baby was born. And she was 18 months old. And I got on a scale randomly at my mom's house because I didn't own a scale because scales for me are pretty toxic. Um, I got on a scale at my mom's house and I seen the 269 pounds. I always put that number in because that number is what haunts me. I don't round it up to 270 too often. I was 269 pounds at 5'6", and I didn't know how I got there. I was like, I'm pushing 300 pounds. I have three babies. I I need to start. And I literally started that day. I didn't wait till Monday. I didn't wait until the new month was starting. I literally started that day. Um, I was pretty successful on Weight Watchers as a teenager, so I kind of already knew um, how to start. Like I knew how to start. I knew how to start. It's that this time I did it really slow. like really slow. Like I started taking one or two things out of my diet or lessening one or two things. And just honestly, I'm a big giant science experiment. I just have been over, like how I eat now is not how I started eating to lose the weight. How I eat now, I more eat now to fuel my body and train. That's not how I started. I just started by like cutting out sugary drinks, not getting a chocolate bar every time I was at the grocery store, right? That just those small habits that I started to, get out of and create new habits. It's all about creating new habits.
Did that make things, that transition, easier? Because, as you know, a lot of people, when they go into a new year, New Year's resolution, I'm going to hit the gym, I'm going to diet, and then immediately it's like three, two, one, boom, I'm not going to go to McDonald's, boom, I'm not going to eat this, boom, I'm not going to eat that. And then 3 weeks later, because it's almost like the cravings are just driving them nuts, they go out and they end up eating those things, and then they forget about what the whole thing was supposed to be about.
I think people are so wanting the instant gratification that when it doesn't happen in 3 weeks, they're like, screw this. Nothing's happening, nothing's changing. I might as well eat how I was eating before. But really, if they just had, the McDonald's once a week, but kept eating the healthier way the rest of the week, things would happen. It might be slow, but slow progress is still progress.
So, what was the next steps that you took? So, you started cutting out food slowly, because we are talking 10 years here.
Yeah.
When did the exercising start coming in?
So it took me about 6 months to lose 50 pounds. So the first 50 pounds. Yeah. And then my father-in-law at the time, he ended up passing away from a something that could have been prevented because he was a pretty heavy guy. And kind of changed my look on the whole weight loss process. Uh, I don't know if I would have stuck with it as much if that didn't happen at the 50-pound mark. Uh, so then at that point, I knew I needed to start tracking because the weight was just stagnant at that point. I wasn't tracking. I was just literally cutting a little bit out of my diet. So weighing, measuring, and tracking has been part of my life for 10 years. It is second nature to me right now. Like I literally, you could show me a piece of chicken and I could say that's 4 ounces and you could weigh it and it would be 4 ounces. Like I'm that good. I'm that good now. Um, but yeah, weighing, measuring, tracking has been a huge thing for me. It's not for everybody. A lot of people can get like obsessive with it, but it's just like planning out your day. It's just like I'm a scheduler. So it's just like making a schedule for yourself. You're like, I have this amount, I have this budget to eat during the day or that I want to eat during the day. And I need to figure out how I'm going to fit that into my plan. So I literally have been weighing, tracking, and measuring my food for 10 years.
But how do you do that, and how do you stick to that when you have young children who want to go to McDonald's or want to have chips or want to have all the, fun foods or snacks? And, parents will sit there and, look over and go, yeah, let me grab that fry. Or, yeah, maybe you don't want to finish that hamburger. I'll finish it for you.
So let me tell you that I've had my moments where I cave into that. Like nobody's perfect. Um, have I had McDonald's in the past 5 years? No. But at the beginning of my journey, I would choose like a wrap and a salad rather than a Big Mac and fries. Like it was just about making choices in those moments. And did I sneak a couple of French fries? Heck yes, I snuck a couple of their French fries because it was just a couple. And I knew that those couple of French fries weren't going to hurt me in my end goal. Just like now, I had pizza last week because I was craving some pizza, and pizza is not something that I put in my everyday diet. But I know that tomorrow I'm going to get back on track and it's not going to affect me. Maybe it's going to be a pound or two on the scale. I don't weigh myself, but that day, but in the long run, that little bit of pizza is not going to affect me because I know that I have this under control and I know what my goals are.
And those goals, was losing weight, which you did, but then it kind of changed up a little bit because, well, let's get into the exercise first
Okay,
before
yes,
I go
yes.
into.
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
answer your
no,
exercise
no, no,
question.
that's okay. So when did the exercising actually start?
So I was probably about 80 pounds lost at that point. And I said to my brother who was really into fitness, I said, how do I tone this skin? Because I started to have really, really loose skin, especially in my abdomen, especially in my stomach area. And he said, Steph, the only way is if you start exercising and lift weights. Like you need to start lifting some weights. So I actually started with a run club about it was probably about 15 months into losing the weight at about 80 pounds lost. It took me 18 months to lose 110 pounds. So if you think about it, at 80 pounds lost at 15 months, I lost quite a significant bit of weight since when I started working out. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so I started with a run club and I started working myself up to my first 5K. So I started that in June and then I ran my first 5K in September. I started working with my brother's friend Michael, who is a personal trainer. He would come out to the house and do some like kind of like CrossFit related stuff, like almost like Tabata boot camp. And then he ended up opening a gym in St. Catharines, which is the next town over. And he suggested starting CrossFit here in Niagara Falls. So I joined my CrossFit gym. The same month that I hit 110 pounds lost was the same month that I started CrossFit.
Now,
So
correct me if I'm wrong. And again, you don't like to run though, do you?
I I hate running. I don't know why I chose running. I don't know if it's because it was easy.
Uh-huh.
Running is against yourself. You don't have to go nowhere to run. And the gym was extremely intimidating to me at that point. I didn't feel like I belonged in a gym at that point. So I think I chose running because running you can do wherever and uh, nobody's judging you, or you feel like nobody's judging you because you're just on a trail or you're just at a track. Like it is what it is. So I think just the gym environment was still very intimidating to me, which is why I didn't dive right into the gym environment until I decided that I wanted it.
Let's get into that now because you
Yes.
just didn't jump into it. I mean, you gave it a stomp kick and said you respect me
Yeah.
because you got into strength training, which is different from just going to the gym and doing some curls and whatever else. This is a sport that you have indulged yourself in and definitely has succeeded and excelled because you also post things where when you're doing something, you failed. But then in a couple of weeks, you will show, well, guess what? I may have failed then, but I'm doing it now. How did that start to come together?
So CrossFit was pretty slow. Like it was the very first time I ever touched a barbell in my entire life. I remember being extremely intimidated.
And how old were you when the first time touching barbell?
I was 27. So
27. Okay.
yeah, no, 29. I was
29.
29.
So
Sorry.
almost 30 years
Yeah,
old.
I was
That's a
almost 30
long time.
before I even touched a barbell at all.
Wow.
And I remember I watched a girl in very early in my CrossFit. She was back squatting 100 pounds. And I remember thinking in my head, I want to back squat 100 pounds. And then within probably like a year, or even less, I was comfortable with back squatting 100 pounds. And CrossFit is it's weightlifting slash gymnastics slash high intensity all mixed in together. And I was getting better at the weightlifting aspect of CrossFit, but the gymnastics, like I can't do a pull up. I can't walk on my hands. I can't do handstands. Like I just wasn't getting better at that aspect. So then when COVID hit, I actually hired a strength coach and started getting into strongman. So that was about 8 years into um, 8 years into lifting at the gym. So I progression from absolutely nothing to leaving CrossFit with about a 200-pound back squat, a 200-pound deadlift, and some overhead pressing skills that I never would have had if I didn't start doing that.
And let me just jump in. What's your favorite out of all of them?
Deadlifting, 100%. My body is built to deadlift. Squat
Oh,
neck, but my body's built to deadlift.
what was it like for you to not just see the physical changes? Because I know you said, I think you said your biceps are your favorite part of your body, but also watching your strength increase. What is that like for you?
I think the strength thing can get very addicting because you start doing things that you never thought possible. And when you start hitting those goals, like it's never ending, really. You just keep setting new goals. And that like striving towards that constantly is like motivation itself. Um it just over time has been um the thing that keeps you going, like really.
It does. And here's the thing, because this is where the inspiration comes from, which is one of the big reasons why I started following you too. A lot of people ask you questions, and you give them great answers, but also people are they're inspired by you. How does it feel knowing that you inspire people that have never met you, you've never met them, and every whatever somebody says thank you for what you are doing for me because you're inspiring me to do, whether it's weights or even anything else in life.
Well, it is kind of strange, but I was encouraged by my brother who encouraged me to weightlift and his girlfriend to start sharing my story because um the long-term weight loss you don't really see too much, or people that have been doing it for 10 years. Like I've been doing this for 10 years with the weight loss. Um the inspiration thing is it's really nice, and if I can just help one person, then I did my job. Like I wish I could share my journey and my story, and i I wish women could feel like I feel right now earlier in their lives. Like I went through my whole 20s not being comfortable in my skin and not feeling how I feel now. And it has really almost nothing to do with the weight loss as opposed to um, the confidence and doing the hard stuff and doing the things that I never thought possible. So it sounds funny, but I think the weight loss is just a byproduct of me searching for that.
And we are following along in that great journey. Um, you also talk about, and you're very truthful with these things too, about how you've changed your body, because you haven't just changed it through work, you've also had surgeries that were needed to be able to progress to where you wanted to be.
Yeah, I'm super honest, especially because a large majority of the people who follow me are weight loss people. And I don't want anyone thinking that their stomach is going to be flat like mine just by working out. That's not true. I have had a tummy tuck, I had ab repair. I ended up having a breast augmentation as well. I play a little bit with Botox and fillers in my face. But I'm super honest because why project something that is unachievable? Like if somebody can't afford a tummy tuck and they're looking at me being, I wish I was like her. Well, if if you can't do that, you're never going to be like me. So I might as well be honest about what's going on. Like show my scars. I'm very honest about um afterwards what I still deal with. Like I'm going to be 3 years out from the tummy tuck and I still have zero feeling in my stomach and stuff that I have to deal with all the time, and how it affects my fascia and the rest of my body. And yeah, might as
Uh,
well just
just
be honest.
just curious, do you have a nickname for your belly button?
No, but my belly button is man-made, and people find that so weird that I'm like, this is not the belly button that I was born with. This is the man-made belly button. I do enjoy my belly button because my belly button, my old belly button was like deep because I was heavy. And this belly button is like tiny and cute. So I do enjoy my new belly button.
You
It's
got to
been
give your belly button a name, though. You have to.
what do I name it.
I don't know. That's up to you. You have to do that. But one of the biggest people that you've inspired is your daughter because she is followed in your footsteps, and she is definitely a mini you. But I love the fact when she, of course, when you're about to do something, she comes up behind you and slaps you on the shoulders. Or while you're videoing one of your exercises, somehow her foot gets in the camera, or you see just like the side of her. Like, she's hilarious, but you can
She
see
is.
what she's doing. Like, she definitely is following your footsteps.
Do you know what's funny? It's the silver lining of COVID. So if COVID never happened, we would never know that she was like this. So the reason that she started lifting is because I was lifting at home in the backyard. And she's like, Mom, can I try this? Mom, can I try this? And she would just pick up things and start moving it. And I was like, what is going on? And she ended up starting with my coach at the time. And like her numbers just kept increasing and increasing and increasing. And I'm like, what's going on? And I actually have a TikTok that I joke that it's like, oh, I always wish that one of my daughters would lift at me. And then it like screens over to her deadlifting 300 pounds. And it says, until she starts lifting more than me. But it's true. And like, I'm like low key jealous that I did not start at 13 years old. I think my life would be different if I just started strength training and feeling how I feel now that early. Just the confidence that something like that can bring into your life is amazing. And the opportunities that it is opening up for my child is unbelievable. Like if she continues with the strength-based training, like she could get scholarships to pretty much any university or college in the States, more so the States than Canada, just for being strong, just for being strong. Cause she's that strong. Like she's 13 years old and we are neck and neck with everything.
Wow.
Right.
Because
So
you both compete also.
yeah, so she actually holds the title right now of Canada's strongest teen through strongman. And she actually, yeah, I know. And she actually holds 3 Canadian national records for her
Wow.
age. Yeah, I know. She's pretty crazy. I do not hold anything other than her mom, but I'll take that. I will take that. If this is what this journey is for that, for people to see how amazing that she's going to be, then this is what it is.
We talked a lot about the positive. There have been some negatives. I remember you posting about, I think you were going shopping and a woman was making comments, I think, about your size or something like that. And
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
like it to me, it's like, why would somebody even do that? But these are things that you have to also deal with.
yeah, she just was judging me on my clothing choice. So I
Clothing.
had a tummy tuck and I wear crop tops at 37 years old. So she already had a preconceived notion about me. And I did something that she didn't like. And instead of either ignoring me or approaching me nicely, she was passive aggressive and started doing some stuff. And then she ended up calling me trailer trash.
That was it. I
She ended up
remember
calling
now.
me trailer trash in the parking lot as she drove away. And I, at the moment, was extremely hurt by it because that is not who I am. And I felt awful for anyone who I have ever judged previously for their clothing choice. Because she has no idea who I am. I, I am not trailer trash, but because I was wearing a crop top and jeans and whatever else I had on, she just was not having it. But in hindsight, I think the universe brought her into my life because I'm strong. I can handle that sort of thing. And if she had a shitty day and she had to take her shitty day out on me, that's okay. Because if she would have took her shitty day out on somebody else, maybe somebody else couldn't have handled it.
True.
So in the end, I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it. If I took that away from somebody else who couldn't have handled it, then it is what it is.
So how do you deal with the negative comments? Because a good example is you just did a Ask Me Anything, and then you put up a screen of some of the questions, and I'm not going to say some of the questions that people have asked. How do you deal with that on a constant basis?
For the most part, I just brush it off or ignore it. Once in a while, I'll put them in their place. And then there is that lovely option of Instagram that's called block. And I ain't afraid to use it. So it it is what it is. Other negative comments too, just about how I dress.
Oh, you
I
dress. I love the way you dress.
I have big thighs, and from the weight loss, maybe shouldn't be wearing the booty shorts like some people think, but like, screw that. It's taken me 37 years to feel comfortable enough in my skin to wear the goddamn shorts. I'm wearing the goddamn shorts.
See, that's what I talk about inspiration too. If we could go back in time, what advice do you think this person would go back, meet this person? What advice would that person give?
I would just tell her to not be so hard on herself, and uh, that she needs to believe in herself more, and consistency is key, and just keep being consistent.
Then who is this person today as we speak? Who is this person?
She is a crazy ass addicted to weightlifting, mom of three, who is just learning how to love life and love herself and go for things that she wants.
What is the plans for 2022? More competitions? Could we see maybe you putting together I don't know, a YouTube video on strength training, or a DVD? We still have DVDs, or anything like that. And will there be more competitions going on with you and your daughter too?
So Kenzie is full on. We've talked about it. She wants to do about 5 competitions this year.
Oh, and does she? Oh, and sorry to interrupt. Does she need sponsors too?
She just got her very first little paid sponsorship, but anybody who's willing to do anything for us, we're more than welcome to have a discussion. But for me, I want to compete. I want to continue to get stronger. I want to grow strength sports in women in Mackenzie's age. I applied for a grant through a small charity down here, to maybe start some classes with confidence and strongman, and showing young girls how weightlifting and the barbell can really change your life. And more so, really going on like the confidence, and you can do this, and you need to believe in yourself, and be who you are and accept who you are, end of it, and use the weightlifting as like a segue.
Fantastic. As we wrap this up, as we are 2022, a lot of people are going to be immediately 3, 2, 1 jumping into those gyms. I've seen it every year. And then, me and the folks are always like, yeah, this is only going to be crowded for another couple of weeks, and then we're not going to see these people again, which
Yeah.
is sad. But not just that, though. People are going to be looking at 2022 as a new start in whatever they're doing. What advice can you give them? Because you did say about instant gratification is, one of the things that ruins it for people. What
Yeah.
advice can you give them, whether they're going back to the gym, or they are starting a new job, or just wanting to start a new life? What advice can you give them?
First of all, if you want something, go for it. Second, weight loss, weightlifting, exercise, whatever goal that you have, if you're not consistent, it's not going to work. So after a month, if you're still not seeing goals, guess what? Or seeing results, you probably aren't going to see results. I have been coaching some people online, and I said, even after your 12 weeks with me, you're not going to see 50 pounds lost after 12 weeks with me. You're going to see 50 pounds lost after, 3 or 4 or 5 months by yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I'm only here to give you the start. It's up to you what you do at the end.
What about fad diets?
I think that fad diets do not work because they push unhealthy habits on people. So it's very simple: calories in, calories out. You know what I mean? You could eat as many calories in fast food as you do clean food, and you will get the same results. You'll be much hungrier because fast food is higher calories and you're not going to be able to eat as much as you do clean food. So it's just about making choices, but really calories in is calories out. So it's as simple as that.
Stephanie, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Yay.
It's taken way too long for
I
us to do
know.
this, but I'm so glad we did. I'm hoping we can do another interview again in 2022, but this time I'm hoping that your daughter can be in this
Of
so we
course.
can talk. We can, get the
You'll be
tag team
amazed
together.
by her. She's like a 40-year-old in a 13-year-old's body.
I've already seen the things that she's doing, so yeah, it would not
Yeah.
surprise me at all. And last but not least, give your belly button a name. We need to have
I'll
one
post it.
before
I
this is
have to
all
think
over.
about it. I'll post it.
Yes, definitely. Have a great holiday. Thank you so
Of course,
much, and looking forward to talking to you again in 2022.
of course, of course. Thank you.